Um, I'm a black belt in the martial arts styles of Kung Fu, Wushu, Eskrima, and I'm also a Qigong teacher. In 2013, I was in a life-altering car accident. And after 2 years of surgeries and procedures, my surgeon said to me, "You will never walk normally again." And I said, I wasn't born walking and I wasn't born a black belt. And I realized two things that day. If I kept using traditional mobility devices, he would be right and I would never walk normally again. I also realized that the reason I was so physically disabled was not from my car accident. Now, when my doctor reattached my proximal hamstring tendon, he put my leg back on straight, the same length as my other leg. But the 3.5 months that my left foot was off the ground, the muscles between my hip and my knee lengthened, and the ones between my knee and my foot shortened. And because the crutches, and I used all different kinds because they all sucked, forced those muscles to lengthen, and my hip, knee, and ankle joints rotated outward, and my head and my shoulders became positioned in front of the rest of my body. So when I started walking, people would come up to me and say, "Did you have a stroke?" And I would say, "No." And I had this different step and stride on both sides of my body. And I had this really bizarre gait. And I realized that if I didn't figure out how to walk normally again, that I would wear out my hip, knee, and ankle joints from improper loading and unloading of those joints. Because one of the things you learn really early on inside the dojo, no matter what style of martial arts you do, is that practice makes permanent. So if I kept walking bent over, I would continue walking more bent over. So I use the same principles that I learned inside the dojo because all martial arts is at its basics is levers and fulcrums and how you move them and move out of the way. So for those of you who know who Bruce Lee was, he was 5'7" and 135 pounds. He could move anything and anyone that he wanted. Bill Underwood, who most people won't know who he was known as the little giant killer, and he could take anybody down. It's not about how big you are, it's about how you move, how big you are. So I went home and I built myself a cane that would allow my body to move the way it was designed to move. So let's talk about how your body's designed to move. Your body is designed to move upright well into old age. And how does it do that? It does that by coordinating and balancing movement between the left and right sides of the body with your head centered and aligned over your shoulders, the palms of your hands facing your thighs, and your feet striking the ground, heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. Why is that important? Because when your foot strikes the ground from heel to toe, it engages all of your core muscles. And those are not just abs, but the muscles in your sides and around your spine, and it keeps you upright. Now, traditional canes extend your base of support on one side of your body, and they make you lean to one side. And when that happens, your body stops coordinating and balancing movement between the two sides. You are forced to lean to one side. Your head is no longer centered or aligned over your body. Your head ends up being forced in front of your body, as is the top of your spine. Same thing with crutches. The reason I became so badly disabled? Because my arms were away from my body and I was bent over. So I invented this cane, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I realized that I could just build another cane that was slightly better, but so what? But I decided to build myself a cane with a cane foot that looked like the human foot, bigger in the front, smaller in the back, and I was going to put ridges on the bottom. Why? When I used to teach martial arts, I used to use Fun Freddy, well, Frederica, depending. And if you look at the bottom of Freddy's foot, back of it has a ridge, just like my cane foot. Why does that have a ridge? Because at the back of the foot, this ridge here, also known as the calcaneus or the heel bone, that ridge lets you back up without doing a head plant. And at the bottom of your metatarsals and your phalanges, There's also ridges. That's what lets your foot strike the ground from heel to toe. And because your foot's bigger in the front and smaller in the back, it keeps your body vertically aligned and stable. Now, when the palms of your hands face your thighs when you walk, it helps keep your head centered and aligned over your body. And when your feet strike the ground, why is that important? Because as one foot strikes the ground, it helps raise the other foot up and it helps keep your body upright. Traditional canes, and I know I use them because I tried to, because I had no balance when I first started walking, they force you to lean to one side. Nothing's centered, nothing's aligned, and you keep getting progressively worse and worse and worse. So I built this cane. I built myself a cane that looked just like this, exactly. It had an angled shaft. Why did I put an angled shaft on it? Because when you walk, when you do heel strike, which is really important to keep yourself vertically aligned, your legs at an angle. Traditional canes, you adjust them to where your wrist is. Why? Because they're made for balance only at the expense of your upright posture and your alignment. So you stick your arm out the side, you lean to one side, and you have balance. Now, my wall will help me balance. My desk will help me balance, but I don't call them mobility aids, okay? They're not going to improve my posture. Well, I mean, maybe if I constantly walked along the wall, they would. But I don't call it a mobility aid. I made this cane to teach myself how to walk normally again, to get my head back over my shoulders, to allow my palms to be face the outside of my thighs, to teach my left foot how to strike the ground again. Did I start walking beautifully and upright overnight? No, it took me years to undo the damage. And when I started walking upright again, the same doctors that told me that I had unreasonable and unrealistic expectations after my car accident, you know what they called me? They called me a medical marvel. And I said, no, I'm not a medical marvel. I'm really well trained in what I do. But the reality is, and the sad part is, that no one injured or disabled should become more injured or more disabled from a mobility device. A mobility device is an extension of your body that should assist you and make you better or make you more upright. It should not make you in more pain or less upright or more injured. And they said, you know, that's true. And they said, and we really like that cane you developed. It's really nice. Do you have any patents? And I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I have two US utility and design patents. I have a Canadian patent. I have lots of claims. I have a Walker Rollator patent. I have lots of them. That's great, Linda. That's really good. I said, okay, that's really good. Here's the reality. Disabled people, it's hard being disabled. It's painful. It's hard work. I started out my life as somebody who wasn't disabled. And in an instant like that, my life changed. I went from somebody who was doing 8 hours of martial arts at 2 different dojos, teaching, running 3 miles, 4 days a week, doing anything I wanted. And in 25 seconds, this woman hit me, took her foot off the gas, panicked, and put it back on and left it there. My life changed in ways that I could not even imagine. And then I went through what a lot of disabled people go through every day their entire lives, navigating a medical system that is not designed for disabled people. And I had to do all of those surgeries and procedures without narcotics because I'm deathly allergic to narcotics. So I learned a lot about pain relief, and I had great respect for anybody who goes through that and becomes addicted to narcotics, because believe me, if I could have taken narcotics, I would have, and I realized I too would have become addicted. So one of the first things that I came to understand when I first patented my devices was I met with one of the big companies, and they said, this is great, your cane's wonderful, it's fabulous. much sturdier than ours, cost about 10 times more to make. I'm going to order one for a family member. I said, well, would you like to license it? And they said, oh, no, 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 no. I don't think you understand something. As a business proposition, as long as disabled people are willing to buy our canes that cost a lot less, this is not a good business proposition. Someone could go from one of our walkers to two of your canes, and maybe even then to one of your canes. And maybe they could end up like you. You went from two of your canes to one of your canes, and now look at you, you're walking upright. You don't even need a cane. And I said, what? I thought you were in the business to help disabled people. Well, we're in the business for our shareholders and to help our shareholders. And I said, okay, but what about licensing my cane? Well, I'm going to buy one, but not so much. License it. I said, okay, thank you. And then he said to me, look, as long as disabled people are willing to buy our canes, we just don't have to deal with you. So I ask you this. Would you buy a car that drove really well the first 3 times and then blew up on you? I don't think so. So if every cane, crutch, walker, wheelchair came with a rating, continued use of this cane, crutch, walker, or wheelchair will result in the following: a loss of balance or a gain of balance, improved gait, loss of gait. So now I'm going to show you, since we have a half hour before we ask questions, I'm going to show you the difference so that you'll understand and you won't think, well, it's just Linda's opinion. Okay? So hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. And since the advent of COVID, I've been doing this in my bedroom for a long time. So if you guys can't see me, let me know. So first of all, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to serve the underserved community. So my cane is adjustable, and you should know this. My cane is adjustable from 7 years all the way to 6'4" in height. My cane was chosen by the West Coast Consortium for Technology and Innovation in Pediatrics to be a 2020 portfolio member. And I don't know if you guys can see the floor. Please let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Can you see all the way down? So I'm going to count on Danielle. Can you see all the way down there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So when I walk with my cane, I keep my head close to my body. My head centered in a line. Watch. I walk, I'm upright. And when I walk, I can turn, I keep the cane close to me, and I'm stable, and I'm upright. Okay? Now here's one of the more popular traditional canes. Watch what happens. You can see I'm already going to the other one. And when I turn, same thing. And now I'll choose another one. Standard. And here's one just your regular like this, and the claim to fame is it's got this nice curve here, right? But if you notice, if you draw a straight line from here to here, it's really the same. So now watch when I walk, what happens. See how my shoulder drops? So the cane foot on all of these other canes becomes more vertical. It loses contact with the ground. So when it loses contact, so watch. With 2 canes, if I've got my shoes on, let's say 2 different length legs, which is usually a problem for a lot of people. I just take one cane, I adjust the cane shorter on my next to my longer leg, right? And watch. Still upright. And when I turn upright. Even though my legs are shorter, because the cane foot is bigger in the front. When I turn and when I walk, it's maintaining my vertical alignment and stability. It's not dropping my body down, my shoulder down, or my arm down the way traditional canes are. Now, today joining us, I think, is Rebecca. Rebecca, are you there? Unmute yourself if you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Rebecca, tell everybody here what you think of my cane.
Oh, it's really amazing. My balance is getting better. I can walk a little better, and with time, I think I will regain a lot of my mobility that I lost as I aged. Oh, and my pain is a lot better too.
So Rebecca was born with cerebral palsy. I met her through LinkedIn. She told me that she's never been able to use a cane. She lives in Los Angeles. And we conversed back and forth, back and forth. And I said to her, Rebecca, you live in LA. I live in LA. How about if I've had my COVID shots, you've had yours. I'll meet you outside. I'll bring you a cane. Let's see, maybe you can use it, maybe you can't. I have other people with cerebral palsy who are now able to use my cane where they haven't been able to use a cane before. I brought it to Rebecca. I adjusted it the way I would adjust my cane, which is higher than a traditional cane because you're not sticking your arm out the side. It still didn't work for her. I took it back from her. I watched her walk again, and then I adjusted it 3 or 4 inches higher, and I handed it back to her. And then what happened, Rebecca?
I was able to use a cane.
So
And
now,
I was able to walk immediately after she had adjusted it. And now I'm about 2 months later, I'm down 1 notch.
so now she's adjusting it a little shorter. She's walking a little better. So I realized when I became physically disabled, and I tried one kind of crutches, and then I tried foreign crutches, and then I tried another kind. They all sucked. And I realized if I had had my crutches, and now I'm making crutches, my crutches will come out in the market soon. These are the crutches I've made for Children's Hospital that are going for kids with spina bifida. My crutches will come out in the market soon. They have fabric tops. Because why? Why? Because your arms are not designed to carry the weight of your body. It has the same foot as the cane, and your weight, the weight of your body is in there. Disabled people, it's hard enough being disabled. It's hard enough navigating the system. It's, if you rely on other people, it's hard enough for people who are not disabled to understand how difficult and challenging your life can be. If you can reduce your level of pain, make your life easier, get around easier so that you can just enjoy your life, then that's a real big bonus. So now I want to open it up to anybody who's got any questions about anything, whether it's related to my mobility products or anything else.
Yes, and how were you able to use your martial arts to cope with your acquired disability after the accident?
So you learn how to walk and you learn how to become a martial artist the same way, by failing up. You fall down, you get up. You fall down again, you get up again. You learn something and you keep going. The difference is When you're learning how to walk, you fall, you get up, you fall, you get up until you become a walker, a runner, a jumper, someone who can synchronize sequential movement and generate momentum that is stable and balanced. Inside the dojo, though, you do it while someone keeps trying to knock you down, offset and overbalance you. You do it month after month and year after year until finally you become a black belt and you become an expert at failing up. Sifu came my first adult martial arts. Sifu used to say to me, Linda, never be afraid of starting over. Be afraid of the day when you can't. When I started walking, I developed, a few months after I started training with him, he handed me a business management and planning book. And he said to me, study this book and come up with an outline for a plan that you'll use inside and outside the dojo to reach your goals. And I've been using that outline ever since then. I used it for my parenting plans when I became a parent, because when you're a parent and a martial artist, it's not like you can hit your kids. You know, you can send them to their room, you know, you could scream at them if you wanted to, but you've learned that that's not very effective. But you got to come up with a plan. And so I learned to have plans for everything. So when I became disabled, I knew that I needed to come up with a plan for how I was going to get through this. Did the same thing. I came up for pre-op plans and post-op plans and rehab plans, and I based it off that. And I also knew that when it came to biomechanics and movement, that I knew more because I'd had over 30 years of experience of failing up and synchronizing sequential movement and generating stable, balanced movement in momentum inside the dojo. And because of that, I could diagram people's movement and momentum the way English majors diagram sentences. So I used to say to myself, you know, Bruce Lee had this famous saying, the hell with circumstances, I create opportunities. And I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee's writing. I mean, as good as his martial arts is, I think his writing is an inspiration for everyone, especially if you're disabled. So every morning I would get up and I would say to myself, the only opportunity you're going to get today, Linda, is the one you create, so start creating. And then I would tell myself, your life needs to be looked at as a business opportunity, and the business is your business. So you can sit here and feel bad, and at the end of the day, you'll just be sitting here feeling bad, or you can try and do something that will make this into a blessing for yourself and other people. And I have to tell you, the first time I was out somewhere and I saw somebody using my cane, I walked up to this woman and I said to her, how do you like your cane? And she goes, oh, I love it. Let me tell you where you can get one. And I said, oh, I already know, I invented it. And she said, oh, I love you. And I said, no, 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 I love you. You helped me turn my dreams into a reality and a blessing. That's how I did it.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, how are you?
Good.
Can I have your contact? Can I take it in the chat so I can?
I'm gonna put it in here. Hold on. This is the strangest. I'm gonna put it in here.
I having the same problem here. I don't know what I'm. The caption is still here. I cannot see you, so.
Oh my God, it's really okay. So can you are you able to write down what I'm saying? If you can, so you can't even see the chat, right?
Yeah, I am low vision, so I can't read. So I wanna take a screenshot if you can, or let me find a pen. A minute, please. Okay.
So let me see. I just put it in the chat.
Okay. Okay.
No, I don't even know if it's going to go. So here's what I'm going to do after I manage to get out of here if it went in. Hold on. This is so, This thing is
Yes,
so,
I know. I'm having the same problem. I don't know what to do.
okay, hold
Uh,
on. I'm gonna see if I can escape from this, because it's not even letting me escape from, I mean, every time I try and put something in the chat, I have this whole thing.
Me
Anybody?
too.
Is it
And then
something you can email us and we'll put it in the chat for you?
yeah, if I could get your emails.
I can write it right now. I have a pen here.
So here's what I want you to do. Go to go to customer C, or just, never mind. I'm just going to give you my personal email. Swerdlow, SWERDLOW, Linda, LINDA, @gmail. I'll also give you my phone number. If that's easier for everybody, I can give you my phone number. People call me all the time.
Yes, okay.
It's 310-800-0110. If you text me, or anybody texts me, because it might be long distance, I will give you my email and all my personal info, and you can text me.
Okay, thank you so much.
Also, if you have low vision,
Yes.
go to my website, aligned, ALIGNED.
Oh, 1 minute. Align, it's again,
A is-
please.
Yeah,
A?
align, ALIGNEDESIGNED.
I.
Oops. Oh, wait, there you go. Okay, I'm
I
gonna
too
hold up my
quick.
card, take a screenshot. Can you see this?
Mm, it's because the captioning is keep
How about now?
I just do it. I just did it, but I don't know if it's okay. It's not. It's a very low vision that I have. I think I see the card and I take the screenshot.
Tell me if I'm holding it in the right place.
It's not you. It's the it's cam letters, words in the. That's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody can give me a call if you have any other questions. You want to, like, let me just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. If anyone else has any other question, please let me know. Oh, I got an email. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good then, right? Okay, I see there's some questions here. Let me just look at them. Okay. Let me just type in here. Okay. Great. I think we are good, unless there's anything else. Okay. Lacey, I want to thank you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda. I just subscribed to your page.